mother and daddy in 1931 bought 25 acres here in the rural area of North Georgia. They bought a place right over here, well, this whole place, 25 acres, and they built a little store on it to sell, you know, oil and gas and just a general store. And they lived in the back of the store. And the little building, which is right here, is the best we can scale it off is like 19 foot by 24. And my den at home is bigger than that, just my den in my house now. And they lived in the back, had a store in the front. During the daytime, my daddy, he worked at the mines over here. My mother ran the store. And they stay open late at night. Later on, they bought an old car or two, started junking it out, selling batteries, tires, whatever, to get another dime a day. You know, depression time, another dime a day made a difference. 70 cents a week, that'd buy some more bread, you know. So it was hard times back then, and I wasn't involved in on those hard times, but I wasn't involved in on those hard times, but I heard about them all my life. I was born right after the hard part of the Depression, and so anyway, they ran the store and they sold the parts, and I was born here in the junkyard, and in 1970 I had got me a good paying job, saved some money, and I came back home and got a loan, and I reopened the junkyard, which they had closed for a long time, but they still had the cars out in the lot. So I added about 4,200, 4,400 cars to their collection, and some of their collection is still out here. We think they've been sitting there like 68 or 70 years. Trees grown through them, and we don't touch it. We don't even clean the pine straw off. And now people come from all over the world to take pictures and do videos, and even some TV work's been out here a lot. A lot of the TV networks been here, and for overseas, BBC's been here, and just a lot of them. And so now we don't sell anything. What we do is just let people take pictures, and that's the way we make the revenues here.
So you don't sell any parts or any cars?
No, we don't sell. We quit doing that probably about 4, 5, 6 years ago.
Okay.
Because photography got good enough that we didn't want to sell no more. Besides, we like to keep the cars as whole as we can and not part them out. That's kind of what I did years ago when I was selling parts. I'd sell mainly the late models at that time and try to hold all the old models for maybe someday a show place. And that's what it's worked into, a show place.
So what's the age range of the cars then?
They run from, I got one 1918, and I've got like 5, 6, 10 in the 20s, and I've got more in the 30s, more in the 40s, more in the 50s, and more in the 60s. The later they go, the more I've got, except 70s. I quit at 1972, and the reason I stopped, I had to have a point up to where I bought, and I thought 72 would be a good one, because at that time they were still heavy metal, and now, you know, they're a lot plastic and what I call throwaways.
How many cars total do you figure you got in here?
We probably got 42, 4,400.
Yeah. Any plans to add any more?
Oh yeah, I'd like to add a lot more, but you can't find them no more.
Yeah.
You know, when you find them now, they've already been built and they're $30,000 or
Yeah.
$50,000. So I only bought just, you know, like parts and junk cars.
Yeah.
And that's how I got so many, because back then you bought them. Sometimes they would give them to you, just get them out of the yard, you know. But now with all the TV networks and the auctions they have, and they at least appear to bring so much money, everybody thinks the car is worth so much money, and we don't hardly ever buy any. I might have bought 8 cars this year or last year. Sometime, you know, somebody might have a batch that they've been saving for years, or either their granddaddy had and they sell them, but they just expensive now. You just most of them you can't afford to buy them.
What's your favorite? You have a favorite?
Well, probably my favorite right now is one I'm having redone is a 1975 Monte Carlo. That's out of my range, but still it's one my mother bought brand new.
Oh, cool.
And I'm having a guy to redo it, and then but the next one, which is more old one, would probably be I don't know, probably a 1932 Chrysler Coupe, and it looks like a Bonnie and Clyde car, you know. That's what they drove back then. In fact, I think they got shot up in probably a 32, 33, or 34. It might have been a Ford. But this happened to be a Chrysler, but back then the shapes was a lot alike.
Do you have plans or a strategy to preserve this after you pass on?
I've got a son and daughter. They're interested, and I got 3 grandsons. They appear to be interested, even though they're not old enough to decide yet what they want to do. But they seem interested. Each one of them helps me on the weekends, occasionally, and well, like one of them's in college. Of course, he don't help. The other's already got a job. He don't help much. But the youngest one still in school. And when each one of them was in school, they would help me here at the place, clean up and wait on people and attend to it. So they all have experience here at Oklahoma City, and I'd like certainly to see it keep going, because this is probably most likely is the oldest and longest junkyard in the world. I would say not the United States, but the world. And from what we hear, it is. And 2 or 3 years ago, we was selected by some organization of being number three greatest junkyard in the world. And one that was number 1, I believe, was a shipyard in Russia. And number 2 was the airplane yard in Arizona. They named me number 3.
Cool.
So automobiles, I guess that puts me number 1 in that category too. But yeah, one day these will, be almost unheard of. And kids born now, 30 years from now, would really be something. Of course, they just really fading away. They're going back to the earth, but that's kind of my plan.
Mm-hmm.
Watch them go down, and watch the trees grow through the windshields and the windows, and some of them's even raised up. You've probably seen some that's raised up. Like one lady came in here 3 years ago and said, "How about that Volkswagen van?" Which I don't usually deal in foreign car, but I used to like Volkswagen, so I got a few of those. So she said, "It's raised up. 3 trees got raised up that high." I said, "I don't know about that one." So she took and showed me that Volkswagen. It's raised up. You could sleep in under,
Yeah.
Did you see that one?
I haven't seen that one.
Well, it's down in the first lot, right that direction, and the trees are probably that big, and they've grown up beside and locked in the front wheel and tire. Went on up 30 foot, 40 foot.
Wow.
Yeah, so sometimes somebody will show me items out there that I don't know about. But hardly ever. I know about most of them, but like there's one out there on what we call the road, the fork in the road, we call it. It has a tree that grew up here, and the tree is probably, I don't know, probably 14 inches in diameter. It comes out and it crawls the ground, and it comes up under a 1963 Ford. Then it comes back out and goes up 40 foot. It's got that crooked. How did that? I don't know. So that's a kind of a show place here too.
Mm-hmm. You're creating long-term art,
I guess. And let's see, I got a art collection upstairs too. You need to.
Mm-hmm. So tell us, like, you consider yourself an artist out there?
No, I'm consider myself a doodler. I doodle.
Okay.
I don't call myself an artist.
So when you're here, you're doodling on the cups.
Well, when I'm at home, mainly at night,
okay.
I doodle on the cup. I do some here, but not many.
So I guess the only other question I have is, how many people come through in a year? Do you have stats? Like, do you keep track?
I don't know. I never count 'em. I just count the money.
And you're doing okay?
That's okay.
Yeah.
It can be better, but it's okay.
Cool.
It works. It pays the taxes and the insurance and buys a hamburger or two.
That's good. I appreciate this place more than you probably will ever know.
No, I know. There's a lot of people coming in here would like to stay out there.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm thinking I'd like to have me a house right out in the middle of all of this, and I really would. And I'm definitely thinking about it.
Yeah. And you used to play out here, you and Eddie.
Oh, yeah.
I hear.
Yeah. Yeah, I've drove these cars a long way, never moved at all. I've been to San Francisco to eat supper, and I've been to Daytona races, and went a 200 mile there, and never moved.
Well, thank you, Dean.
You're welcome.
So Dean likes to doodle at night when he's at home, but he doodles on styrofoam cups. There's thousands of them in here. I think he said it's the biggest styrofoam cup collection in the world. this Lincoln is the last car that Elvis ever bought. He purchased it for his hairdresser. Larry was his hairdresser and friend. Elvis bought hundreds of cars. This was the last. Purchased it June 4th, 1977. A couple months before he died. So for you Elvis fans, there's a little bit of Elvis history. There's a security tour jacket. So this is all still inside the main building. This is where Dean's friend Fast Eddie will play the piano on the weekends. I'll be here tomorrow. I'm not sure if he will. Up by this tree. This place is insane. You start wandering, you find a cool car, you start taking pictures, and then you turn around and there's another angle, and there's another car, and then there's another car and another angle. And it's very easy to find yourself taking like wide and then close-up shots of the same 4 cars for like an hour. So there's 4,000 cars here, and trucks and buses and vans. So it's a little overwhelming, but it's really, really cool. I'm just kind of wandering still. I don't even know where I am in the map part of it. But yeah, there's a bunch of old 70s stuff here. And I'm just kind of cruising around doing my thing. So as I've spent my mornings and nights coming and going in here at Old Car City, you get chatting with the guys and they'll mention something and I'm like, oh, where's that? And they'll go, oh, well, just when you get to the fork in the road, turn left. Oh, okay. And you kind of go, what? There's roads all over the place. Which road? But then I was walking along today and I'm like, oh, yeah, the fork in the road. Would be right there. One might ask, how long have some of these cars at Old Car City been here? Well, this long. So it's the end of my 4th day here at Old Car City. It's the end of the day. Just getting ready to head back to the office for 4 o'clock. And just wanted to say it was amazing. I love this place. I'm tired now, but if we were sticking around, I'd be back here on Tuesday when they open again. But that said, I want to take this opportunity to thank Dean and Dane for being awesome hosts. I hope you enjoy the interview with those guys and me showing you around here. If you don't like old cars and junk, you're probably not going to get too much out of it. But for those of us who do, I hope it inspires you to come and visit this place and bring your camera. All right, that's me. I'm out. I'm hot and tired, and I'm going to go back to the campsite and get a shower and a beer. Talk to y'all soon. If you like this video, click the thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed, subscribe to my channel. All right, I will talk to you all soon, and thanks for watching. Bye. For days now, I've been looking for this elusive VW van that's been lifted up by the trees growing underneath it. And for the life of me, I have not found it. I've run out of time. I guess that's a reason for me to come back next time.
It's like working with a monkey.